Hey everyone, welcome back. It is Tuesday. It is time for another wrestling review. This time we are reviewing NXT's Stand and Deliver, the pay-per-view that aired right before WrestleMania on Saturday night. There was just so much wrestling. We needed 2 weeks to cover it all because it hasn't stopped, and I'm not angry about it. It's been a good
the
2
best
weeks.
wrestling maybe ever in the last, I would say, since
The Rumble.
the SmackDown. Let's shorten it a bit.
Yeah.
The SmackDown the week before Mania, all the way until Sakura Genesis, has been nothing but absolute bang. You got like 3 Wednesdays in a row of absolutely the best Dynamites we've seen maybe ever. From AEW.
Throw in one of the worst Raws I've ever seen.
Yeah, we're not going to count that.
That doesn't count. But SmackDown wasn't bad this past Friday.
SmackDown was all right.
Yeah. And this past, Wednesday, we had the reveal of Jay White this past Wednesday. Like,
that crowd pop was pretty nuts.
Yeah.
It changed the game. It changed the whole game. We'll see that.
It does.
We'll see it in tomorrow's review.
What I don't understand is, how's he with Juice in the Bullet Club?
Because I think tomorrow when we review Sakura Genesis, it's gonna come out what happened. Wait, is that tomorrow or today?
Tomorrow, Sakura Genesis. We're gonna release that on Wednesday.
I don't know what the hell I said today for, but
yes, tomorrow is a review for Sakura Genesis. Putty will not be joining us on that one because he did not watch that one. But let us get into right away. Let us get right into the show proper. We have our only one pre-show match, which was Chase U, Thea Hall, Duke Hudson, Andre Chase with Tyler Bate against Schism of Ava, Joe Gacy, Rip Fowler, Jagger Reed.
I was wondering,
this was for control of Chase U.
I'm going to be honest with you. I watched like a quarter of this match and I didn't like it, and I just stopped paying attention, especially because it was a pre-show. I just didn't care.
Chase U go over. Let's leave it at that.
And by the way, this wasn't on the pay-per-view when I watched it. I had to go find this match.
Yeah.
I didn't see. I had no idea. I just
you wouldn't have been able to because it wasn't on the actual pay-per-view.
That's why you had to go and find it. Yeah. There's also talks. The reason why Chase U won is just this past week it came out that Jagger and Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed asked for their release,
which is why this happened.
Yeah.
Which is huge. And just like, I know we're going to touch on it next week, but I think this Vince McMahon thing caused a lot of issues. There's a bunch of people asking for the release. We touched on it yesterday. Drew McIntyre wants out.
Which at one point he was Vince's chosen one.
Which is, Japan would love a Drew McIntyre. A huge, muscly Gaijin wrestler. Holy crap, they would love that. And they love the Brits. They love anyone from the UK.
Can you imagine Drew teaming up with Ospreay in United Empire?
I was hoping he would join TMDK, but yes, that's fine with me as well.
I like him in United Empire so they can go after the Bullet Club.
I think they have too many people.
Yeah, there's too many now in UA?
Way too many.
Okay, TMDK, and he takes out Zach as the leader.
Yeah, he should. Well, I don't know. Zach's a pretty good leader.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We're too much.
Well, they needed they needed someone to replace Jonah.
Yeah. And I can't guarantee you, Cody Rhodes is really mad about that long-term contract he signed.
I think he may ask for a release soon too. But they teased a little dissension with Tyler Bate and Duke Hudson.
Which I think Tyler Bate has been knocked down so much from where he was.
Yeah. He went from being in the main event with Bron Breakker unifying the championship in that fantastic match to being
from being a top NXT wrestler in the world to being like less than a mid card. He's not even a mid carder anymore.
It's pre-show.
Yeah.
But but I mean, it was an alright match, but it wasn't.
It wasn't worth your time. No. I think I'm not going to hold this against the pay-per-view.
I'm just sad to see Andre Chase being wasted in this role. He has the potential to be a good wrestler.
But he really is like disgustingly good.
They just don't let him shine.
His character is amazing.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm waiting for those rivalries with Drew Gulak or what's his name there? His Regal's son there. Dempsey.
Listen, Otis and that wet fart that he's teamed with are on the main roster, and this guy is stuck on NXT.
Yeah, that wet fart. Chad Gable.
Like,
Swoosh.
yeah, Putty hates that.
But yeah, let's go into the. Well,
Yeah,
we'll go into the main show proper from here. Then we get the ladder match for the NXT Women's Championship. Roxana Perez is the defending champion. She was allowed to participate in this match against Indy Hartwell, Zoe Stark, Gigi Dolan, Leah Valkyria, and Tiffany Stratton.
Okay, under paper, do me a favor. We're making a category as well. Best women's match. I don't know if we had that last year. No. Did you put Rhea Ripley versus
Charlotte? Yes, Charlotte? I did.
Okay, yep, okay. So you're on top of it.
I'm on top of it.
This
was a good match.
Was a really good match.
Okay.
This was the best I've seen NXT women in a long time. This is the best
women's ladder match in a full year.
Putty?
I really want to jump into this because the thing is I put this on. I started the match started. I fell asleep and I put this on earlier and just started from the beginning. And I'm glad I did because I've not been paying attention to NXT in general. And now I'm really mad I haven't been because consecutively tonight, it feels like, what the heck is going on? These are new things I've never seen before, but amazing matches. Why is this not over on the main roster? What is going on here?
Well, because if you've seen the last couple of NXTs, well, actually the last two were good, but everything earlier was like, they had like 5 stinker pay-per-views in a row.
So this is a shiner then.
It's up in the air. This is such an outlier of a women's match because all we ever do is complain about the women's matches on NXT.
And this was fantastic.
This is such an outlier. Maybe not, but who's the blonde girl?
Which one? Tiffany Stratton?
Tiffany Stratton had no business in this match.
No, that's what I put too. They could have taken her out. They could have put JC in it at least.
They could have put, okay. There's so many. Like I was just like having a list of wrestlers in my head. Yeah, you could have put Nikita Lyons. Realistically,
she's still hurt.
Okay, that's why. But she did not belong here. I don't understand why she was here. The girl that comes out with the Creeds is absolutely jacked. I don't know why she's not wrestling.
Oh, because she did wrestle. Did she? Oh, Ivy Nile. Yeah, she should have been in this match too.
She looks like a monster, but I mean,
she looks like a legit cage fighter.
Okay, so but let's take that aside. Let's take Tiffany Stratton aside. Okay.
The rest of the women put on one hell of a show.
But when you there, how many people were in this? 6?
I think it was 1, 2,
6.
3,
Perez,
4,
Stark,
5,
Dolan,
6.
Stratton.
Yeah. 6.
Okay, so let's minus Stratton out for a second here. Then when I'm looking at the rest of the 5 here, not only were all 5 of these people generally better wrestlers in my eyes, period, but in this match, all 5 of them, all 4 of the other ones, far exceeded what Roxanne Perez has been doing or did in this match. And
but I've said it from the beginning. 2 of the women in this match between Indy Hartwell and Zoe Stark are arguably 2 of the best women on your roster.
And I never even felt that with Indy. And then I watched this match and then the story they told, I think she took a little bit too long to climb the ladder. Spoilers, she wins.
Indy Hartwell wins.
She's the new champion. But
and I
really like the ending.
The story. They closed the story with her and Dexter Loomis where he helped her.
And it worked so good. It was so funny how he just like slid underneath her and like looked at her, and it was like there was just like this section of good storytelling there. But listen, this is the worst I've ever seen Gigi Dolan perform.
Yeah, she looked out of place in this one.
Her last 3 matches, she's really, really struggled to like go on offense.
To elevate herself, maybe.
Her offense hasn't looked great. She's still selling great and taking really good bumps, but like for some reason, since they split them as a tag team, her offense just feels off. Like she's coming really weak. She did a lot of standing. I don't know if you noticed that, like waiting to get hit by things, which I thought was really weird. But
to be fair, too, in this match, it wasn't that typical WWE style booking.
No,
it wasn't a lot.
Pay-per-view was not
stop. Do my spot. Okay, think what my next spot is. Like that. WWE suffers a lot from that. And we noticed that in the Money in the Bank ladder match last year.
What I found, like, and I'm nitpicking right now because like I said, this was a great match. I think what I found was it wasn't these stop waits looking for spots. It was I got here a little bit too early and now I need to figure out what I'm gonna do.
Dude,
like it happened a lot while they were climbing the ladder. They realized, oh crap, I climbed up way too fast. Yeah. And now what do I have to do?
Yeah, because I noticed like for example, there was I think the girl that was there's several times were hesitant, and I remember where the girl was locked into the thing, and I was even dreadful. Like, she did a pretty good job of quickly getting up. Yeah, she did a good job of getting up and everything. But there were several times where you could tell they're looking around, like, where's the person that's supposed to be, grab my leg or something like that. There was very much a hesitation.
Roxana also had her entire arm in the fucking thing at one point, and I was like,
she's gonna lose her arm.
Is it Roxana or Roxanne? I keep calling her the
wrong. I think it's Roxanne Perez.
And you kept on hearing Booker T sitting there going, "Oh, she's got to unclasp it. She's got to."
You don't know the story behind that one though, eh, Putty?
But wait, can I say something? No, He's far less perverted in this match than I expected him to be. In the tag match, he was super pervy.
Yeah. I think he was maybe spoken to, but then he forgot.
Because, he was saying a lot of really weird things, Putty, like, I think this girl like my daughter. Look how hot she is.
Look at her ass.
Look at her ass.
I don't remember that. I must have been distracted because I was
no.
Like, he's just not a good host.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He's still we were talking about the last two. He got a little bit better. He went full back to normal in this.
Yeah. I think Vic Joseph is the other guy. He's trying to be the professional straight man, and sometimes, because I guess he's still fairly new at this, he's thrown off by some of the things Booker says. Maybe sometimes.
I think he's scared to deal with Booker sometimes, but also, and I kind of went back. I cheated, but I noticed in this, and I never noticed it because I always thought he was pretty smooth. But I realized he sounds like he's reading what he's saying off like a teleprompter. Like,
that's what those little iPads are.
His lines are so like
scripted,
coming out it's coming out of his mouth, not like it's organic. Like he's reading off a piece of paper. This is what is happening now, and the match is continuing. And you're like, wait, what? It's like a sportscaster, right?
Where it's like you take the guys from Impact, Raywald and Tom Hafnen. Those two, they work so well together.
Raywald has been pretty good.
And Kevin Kelly and Chris Charlton is another one that
Kevin Kelly is like a god tier announcer. He's the funny
he's
part
on
is
that upper echelon.
He's gonna end his career in like a JR type level, but people are not going to recognize it because he's been out of the North American eye. So
for like 20 years, yeah.
But he's up there.
Yeah. But go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead.
Zoe Stark.
That's the first feud.
I was so mad that I thought that I didn't. First of all, I didn't think Indy Hartwell was going to win this. I knew Gigi wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
I hated the way they did the interference because the way that WWE does their unauthentic camera angles, where it's like, oh, nobody noticed this girl come running out all the way, get in the ring, climb up the ladder until all of a sudden at the last second you see her come into frame up the ladder, and it was like,
even though the crowd's going,
and something, I knew that's what was happening. I knew it was JC too. And you know what?
But I don't think JC was. I think JC was still hurt. She wasn't cleared for the match.
Didn't Gigi beat her to get this shot? That's why I don't think she was allowed in the match. But I think she got hurt. But either way,
but you have feuds. You have feuds coming out of this now. You have Gigi versus JC, which is going to continue.
This is going to have like some really good feuds.
And you're going to get Zoe versus Indy now.
And just for the shout out to the kayfabe that Nick hates, when Indy Hartwell got the belt off, they panned over to Roxanne Perez, who was smiling outside.
Yeah, I think Roxanne. I think she's going to be making her debut at the King of the Ring.
I think that look, I do think her ceiling is high. I don't think she's nearly as good as the WWE universe thinks that she is. They've always had this overhype about women's wrestlers that turn out to be nothing compared to the rest of the world's women's wrestlers. But she does have a high ceiling. And to me, this smile was like a recognition of, I know that I'm going somewhere in my career, and this is someone who actually deserves the recognition for how good they are.
And this was also a good way to take the belt off of Roxanne without having her lose.
Yeah, because it doesn't make her look bad at all. And she did have a pretty good match.
Yeah.
Like I said, the only one who clearly didn't belong was Tiffany Stratton. Yeah.
Yeah.
But either way, Zoe Stark was demolishing everybody. That one point where she was just literally crushing the entire ring, I was like, she's about to win right now. And I was so happy. This is the best women's wrestler they have. Yeah,
it is. And I'm glad that the two best women on the roster right now are having a feud in that situation.
Yeah, congratulations. I really like it. And I'm still happy to see Gigi and Jc fight. So that's fine with me.
And eventually they'll get there too. So it's their long-term booking. What a concept.
So wait, who's the one person we're missing? Oh, you know what? Can I say this? Lyra Valkyrie is amazing.
She is. Yeah, she's another one.
She's a far better wrestler than Roxanne Perez is. I don't know how she's been sidelined for so long. She's also very cute, and congratulations for that. But I noticed something. If you go back, look at her career of her names that she has, all her names were Valkyrie. None of them had Lyra. Okay. I think WWE tried to like goof up the Google algorithm by being like, call yourself Lyra Valkyrie. So when people search for Taya Valkyrie, they're going to find you. And that's going to steal, because that's Lyra Tyra. Are you freaking kidding me?
Valkyrie.
Yeah, like, come on. They clearly made her change her normal Valkyrie name to Valkyria because there would be some kind of copyright issue probably by her. But they're like, let's make it as similar as possible.
Where it's, if they search
but you know what? We saw her wrestle recently too, and she's pretty good. But like in this match, she had that really good
match a few weeks, that was one of the high spots on that terrible NXT pay-per-view where she fought Alba Fire.
Yeah. But you know what? She took a wicked spot here where Zoe Stark like went hard on her on top of the ladder.
On the ladder?
It looked great.
Yeah, you could see like she was wincing in pain. It was
this is the NXT that I expect from when I hear you guys talk about NXT. Was this pay-per-view?
I agree, and it was a good moment too at the end. Indy wins, and Gargano and all them come out to celebrate, and but
gag on Mano.
So let's move on because we spent a lot of time on this match. Next, we go into a match of Gallus against the family of Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo against the Creeds of Julius and Brutus Creed with Ivy Nile.
Okay, so here's the thing. Again, with me being new at this and everything, and this is going to come up later with the main event and everything, I'm going to discuss this way, or not really this way, but basically the main event would be opposite to how I feel. These characters that came out, I was kind of like, they seem kind of tacky. I don't know, we'll get into it. Especially Creed, the Creed brothers. I was like, I am not feeling these characters at all. But then when they got in the match, I was like, what are these guys?
The one of them is really good. The
other one
sucks.
The taller
that's
one.
The one I'm referring to. Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. When I saw him, I was like, this guy's amazing. So I will say this: the family, I like their whole shtick with the whole, mob boss thing. It's cool, it's everything. But the Creed brothers, I don't like their shtick, but their wrestling, or that one guy, I should say just that one guy, literally held my attention. Like that was the problem when it came to
I'm not a fan of Gallus either.
This is Gallus.
I'm not either. I don't
but they're a decent tag team as a team. This was Gallus versus Tony D'Angelo versus Julius Creed because Stacks Kid is so garbage. I hate hate the character. I hate seeing him on the screen. He's such a little whiny bitch. He's in every match he just gets in the way. He doesn't even actually help. He just gets in the way.
Like he did in that match against D'Angelo versus Dijak.
And in the world of manservants in wrestling history, right now, there's two of them that bother me so much, and they're both in NXT. It's him, and it's a stupid guy with Mello. I cannot stand that clown.
Oh, Trick Williams.
He needs to ditch Trick Williams, though, fast. WWE needs to get him out of here because he's not helping him. He's making him look really bad.
Really bad. But we'll get to that later because I think to talk on that.
We'll talk about that when we get to the main event.
When he gets main rostered, he's going to get released. I can almost guarantee it.
Oh, yeah. But it was, I'm not a fan of any of the teams in general.
It was
Gallus is okay. I'm more of a fan, like you said, of Julius Creed than Brutus Creed. Brutus Creed is like Otis, that wet napkin of a same type of idea.
Brother Brutal climbing. Well, I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah. And Tony D'Angelo, I have with Tony D'Angelo, he has the potential. Maybe if he changes his gimmick up a little bit.
Tony D'Angelo needs to stop being a cartoon character.
Yeah. Maybe that's where Pat McAfee got the fake New York accent from.
It's rare to ever hear me say this because this is not my type of thing, but like he genuinely offends me as an Italian person. Like,
it's such a
I know
stereotype.
He's also Italian, but it's like it's super like pathetic. It's like it's legitimately a cartoon character.
It's like there was a cartoon show called Forget About It. Everyone,
it's like Forget About It was better than this.
Yes, but
it's so like okay because he has an Italian tattoo on his arm. They're like, you're gonna be a mob boss, and he's like, okay.
Where have you ever seen a mob boss with?
Where do you ever heard someone have that accent? That's like not a real accent. It's not even New York.
No,
it's like some like
I've never seen a mob boss with a ponytail.
Yeah. No, that's true. Anyways, back to the point. This match was okay.
It served its purpose.
Bad.
I mean, at least every match, with the exception of one, had a championship.
My favorite part though was when they're like, "Oh, it's Mark Coffey, brother of Bill Coffey," and like no one knew who either person was, even though one of them's literally standing in the ring part of the match. People were like, "I don't know who Coffey is."
Mark Coffey was the guy in the ring, and I think it was Mark and John Coffey.
Yeah, but it was funny because like they said it in a way like people were supposed to know, but like nobody even knew who the Coffey was that guy was related to, even though he's part of that tag team.
When they were in NXT UK, it was the Coffeys that were the tag team. So I don't know why they split that dynamic.
I think he got injured.
Okay.
But either way, Pretty Deadly should have been in this match.
That's the next feud, I think, because
I think that would have been because they were wicked as the hosts.
They have such fantastic characters. Yeah,
they have so much charisma and they play off each other so well. It's hilarious. Like that's funny wrestling. Like you want to show me funny wrestling? That's what I want to see. Yeah. Just like two dumb blondes. I know one of them's not blonde, but you know what I mean.
Aren't they?
But they work so well, but the thing is, their in-ring work is good too.
Yeah, well, they're one of the best tag teams they have in NXT as an actual tag team.
Yeah. Sorry, Putty, what were you gonna say?
Well, no, I was just gonna say, what don't they have like an upcoming match too against? Because didn't they plan that match out? Wasn't that?
Yeah, they're going to be doing the Gallus versus Pretty Deadly.
Well, Pretty Deadly lost the titles to Gallus, didn't they?
So they still have the rematch to do. Yeah.
No, wait. Didn't Gallus lose it to?
No, they lost it. Pretty Deadly lost it to the New Day.
To the New Day, who lost.
And then there was
Gallus.
that whole stupid. Remember, they had the Gauntlet match.
Yeah, the Gauntlet match, and then Gallus won.
Yeah, but and then Gallus ended up beating the New Day for the belts. But I mean,
we digress.
I digress. Next we have the 5-way scramble match for the NXT North American Championship. Wes Lee defending against Axiom, Dragon Lee, Ilya Dragunov, JD McDonough. And I got confused because there's Wes Lee, Dragon Lee, Dragunov. It's
okay.
Go, Putty, go first.
I'm going to say this first and foremost. I don't know whether we can get a rivalry, if we can get a teammate, but Axiom and Dragon Lee, I want to either see a rival between those two, or I want to see a tag team between those two, because I feel like they would be great together. You know what I mean? Just not even just based on the look and everything. I feel like in ring work they would look really good together and everything. I mean, I thought this was a solid match. I thought this was very enjoyable.
Absolutely, it was.
Yeah,
this is the second time we've seen Dragon Lee in the ring since being unmasked in AEW, right?
Yeah, it's okay. This was a good match. Am I going to look at this and be like, no, this is a bad match? No, this was a good match. It was too spot heavy in the 1, 2, 3 sense. It felt like last year AEW match. Dragon Lee is head and shoulders out of all of these wrestlers' leagues, and it felt very weird that he was part of this like mid-card Young Bucks match.
Right.
Axiom, just like I said the last time we saw him on a pay-per-view, is freaking amazing, and I don't understand why he doesn't get more of a push. Okay, Dragon Lee actually wins the next NXT after this in his match, but
there was a lot of pairing off between Dragunov and McDonough. So that
Dragunov dominated this entire match. Yeah, like from start to finish, and he bled, and no one wiped it off his head. They let him just bleed, which was NXT-ish, and I liked it. Yeah, JD McDonough does not belong in this match.
Surprisingly,
but it's once again. Remember the last time we watched? What was it? The 3-way match.
Dragunov, McDonough, and Bron Breakker.
It's the same kind of situation where he kind of just gets rolled out of the ring and he doesn't really have much to do. Yeah. And I find that very weird. Why are you even in this match? And then Wes Lee never was on top at all in the whole match, and then somehow pulled off that victory, which I didn't like.
Very similar to the 5-way match we watched at Multiverse with Trey Miguel. Same idea.
Yeah, which to me, I understand it's too soon still. Yeah. But I'm not a big Wes Lee fan. I do think he's a good wrestler, but I'm not a fan of the character.
He's over with the crowd. Very much over.
Because he's very likable. Like that was his whole promo package was just about how likable he is. Yeah. But
eventually I think it's Dragon Lee taking it from him.
or Dragunov. Dragunov has to do something, man. He's too good. He's too good. He's like a skinny Gunter. Like, I don't understand.
That's kind of weird
be
saying
the
about
first? Well, I mean, after something that happens later, but could he be the next challenger for the NXT Championship?
I think he has to be. He's too good. Like, if he dominated all 5 men at the same time in this match.
Yeah.
And
none of them could take him out.
Or he takes, like, he doesn't even have to go heel. He's the one who beats Wesley next, and then Wesley versus Dragon Lee.
I don't want to.
Or not Wesley. Sorry.
Was this? Well, you're drugging up. I wouldn't want him not to go heel. I feel like
no. He works. Yeah. What I'm saying, I said he doesn't have to go heel, but have him beat Wesley and then have a feud with Dragon Lee.
Yeah, and call it the feud of the Dragons.
Clash of the Dragons.
Enter the Dragons.
There you go.
Yeah,
see? It wasn't a bad match. It was really good.
It wasn't a bad match. It just, there's elements of it that I just didn't like. But I do think as a whole, like, I was surprised. Especially, so we got the first match. And then we were like, whoa. Then we got the second match. And we are like, okay, yeah, this is NXT. And then I got the third match. And I'm like, okay.
I'm getting back into it. Yeah. So, yeah. And what was I saying? Wesley retains, obviously. And, but I mean, yeah. And there was a couple points. Did you notice the audio went out at a few times?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wasn't the only one that noticed that. So, but I mean, Wesley retains in a good match, like a great match, actually, even. Like, it was, I like this Scramble better than the Multiverse one.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm giving specific little knocks because at the end of this pay-per-view, I have to have a reasoning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed. But nothing is set up, so we don't know what's next for Wesley. But I could see a Dragunov, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough. They're all going to be involved in this somehow. So we moving on. We're going Grayson Waller against Johnny Gargano in an unsanctioned match, which basically it's a no holds barred, not a no holds barred, but a street fight, basically.
And like, okay, so this is not. I know, just don't get your feelings hurt, okay? I still don't get the Johnny Gargano hype.
That's okay.
He's not bad at all, but like, everyone talks about him like he's like some god tier wrestler, and once again, he was the second best part of this match.
Really?
Well,
you thought Grayson Waller would put on a better?
But I've said Grayson Waller's been good since he got back, like, and
Waller is a good seller too.
It's not that Gargano's bad. It's that he's treated as if he's like the greatest NXT wrestler who ever lived. I mean, does anyone remember a guy called Neville? Because like, he's still like the best wrestler out there. My I don't want to say feelings, but my nostalgia for Gargano was when he was teaming with Ciampa and he had those fantastic matches with FTR. Hey, he's a good wrestler. Yeah, it's just people talk about him like he's belongs in the upper echelon of. Well, why is he on NXT?
He's a top mid Carter.
Yeah, here's my thing though. But see, the thing though, I'm story driven wise. Maybe they're just because I wasn't there, but I feel like there was a deep story with the whole connection with
their story sucks.
Her daughter, or not daughter, her wife, and everything. And I'm like, but I'm not feeling that. Like the whole being upset and that stuff happened, and she comes in and everything. It just, I wasn't feeling it. I thought,
when she started smacking him with the kendo stick, you saw that welt on his back.
Okay, no.
His back was messed up.
Yeah.
No, that's the part I do want to say. We had talked about that with the other show and everything about how a lot of times people botch because because it was a great move though. Was the part with the chairs where he hits the chairs. If you watch, you could see he hit the chair and there was no give. Yeah, and there was no give on it, so he literally hit.
Well, if you saw what happened in the air, he turned sideways and he tried to correct himself, but he couldn't, and he just fell.
Yeah,
and that's what
Gargano hit most of the chair.
Props to him that he just kept on going.
Yeah,
exactly.
Waller just kept on going. He
that was the only thing I saw that really got me interested in the match. But other than that, this whole storyline, I don't know. There's no blood.
It's NXT, Putty. Their storylines are not very good. They have some of the worst writing you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah. You just thank God for the next match. You missed the whole storyline between Fallon Henley and.
Either way, there's. This match was really good.
It still was a good match.
I just wanted to get my opinion of Johnny Gargano out of the way. I do think though this match was too long.
Yeah, this was the longest. No, it was the second longest match on the card. The longest
but it
match
felt
was
really
the 5.
long because it got kind of repetitive when what they were doing, and there was a lot of just like me trying to catch you, and like that kind of thing. And then the whole playing around with Candice
I don't like
LeRae.
these unsanctioned matches because like we said this with that there was a Randy Orton match a little while ago, like a couple years last year I think it was, where he was in like one of these street fights, and Randy Orton in-ring work is good, but you put him in a street fight and you take away that in-ring work, Randy Orton's not that great of a character. You know what I mean? And this is, I think, if this were a pure wrestling match, I think this would have been a little bit better.
It probably could have been, yeah. It was strange, and then there was the whole thing. Booker T got knocked, and that was weird. I mean, it's a good match, but I think there was room for improvement here, and I think it should have been more Johnny Gargano just absolutely destroying him.
Yeah, move after move, just keep doing moves after move. Like
it kind of turned into like there was a period where Waller was just dominating.
Yeah, I think this match would have been benefited if it were a little bit shorter and there was no stipulation attached to it. Just have it be a match, a grudge match.
Just have it be a no DQ match.
Yeah, and I think
that's basically what it is.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of these type of stipulations. So. Gargano does go over. Gargano does come back to the main roster. We know that happens next week. But and Grayson Waller, where does he go from here? I guess he's main roster bound too. I think no.
I don't know. They're about to dump into the main roster. So let's see.
If Drew is gone, Grayson Waller could fit that spot. He's got the size. He's got the athletic ability. There's like 7
people though that I think need to move up.
Yeah,
and.
Yeah, there are a few, but Gargano goes over, and then we go to the next match, which was pretty high on the card. I think this was supposed to be that buffer match. We had the Women's Tag Team Championship of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn against Fallon Henley and Kiana James with Brooks and Briggs.
Am I alone in saying that this match felt kind of one-sided? Like one side was doing more of the work than the other side?
That's the story they were telling.
Oh, okay.
2 undeserving people had the tag titles because of a weird storyline that caused it.
But the people that we haven't seen the people that they beat since.
That's kind of the reasoning. It was to tell this story. They had to give up the titles. They're like, who can we give to transitional champions? And we agreed right away. They were not the people to be the champions.
No, they were transitional.
And it felt weird, but I gotta tell you, I'm a huge fan of Alba Fire and
Isla Dawn.
And Isla Dawn is a lot cuter than I remember her being. Shout out to Putty.
They work well together, though.
No, they were really good together. I don't even know why they had them in a feud for a bit, because they should have just immediately put them together.
Yeah,
I think they're both from the UK, right?
Yep.
And
one's Scottish, one's Irish.
They have a history
Welsh.
together before NXT.
Yeah.
And they're both dark type characters. This would have been a great tag team to fight.
Yeah.
What were they called?
The Kiana James team?
No, the Mandy Rose team.
Oh, Toxic Attraction.
Toxic Attraction. This would have been an amazing
one. They put Alba Fire in the feud with Mandy Rose.
Mm-hmm. Which immediately transitioned out of that because they wanted to give her the title to Roxanne Perez. So then they had nothing to do with Alba Fire, who they just recently signed, right? Didn't she just come over?
Resign, yeah.
She had nothing to do, so they're like, okay, well, we got Isla Dawn back. Let's just put you in a feud with her, and now they're a tag team. They're a good tag team. They worked so well together.
Yeah.
Listen, this was
a lot better than it had any.
This is the best women's tag team match WWE has put on
in a long time.
Like since I can remember. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was very one-sided on top of that.
Yeah. Basically, they dominated, and as it should have been, they dominated and won. We have new NXT Women Tag Team Champions.
And I think they're going to run with it for a long time.
Yeah. They're just going to plow through the competition.
And they should.
Have them be one of the longest reigning women tag champions. Have them be one of the most
to the main roster after as
have them feud. Even have them feud with what's they're called, Damage Katarl or even
Damage Katarl. Number one is they were supposed to be like this monster team. Bailey's done nothing since she's the fight with Bianca. They won the
other
tag
two
team
have
titles
lost 3 times.
They lost and in like very easily lost.
Bailey's been teasing though that she's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like with the old wrestling or with the WWE?
With the WWE.
Yeah. Hey, I'd love to see her in Japan with Sasha Banks.
Monet.
Yeah, whatever her name is. Dirty
Money.
Best theme song out there. I love it.
I hate it.
I know. But yeah, they're really good, and I would love to see them because we already know what's happening. So this tag team, the Becky Lynch tag team, is just transitional.
Yeah.
They're to show off a little bit, get some money. The next tag team is going to be Raquel and Liv Morgan. They're going to go on a big run, and I think the team that's going to come in is going to be them. And
no, it's Ronda and.
Well, we don't know if that's going to happen now
because they're both hurt.
Yeah.
But
so we'll see.
Which is funny because Raquel and Shotzi were a tag team, and then all of a sudden now Raquel and Liv are a tag team.
You know what? Shotzi is like the WWE filler in her. She's the new version of Natalia, which aren't they a tag team now?
Yes, they are.
It's so funny because that's like whenever you need someone to fill in, it's like, oh, just put Shotzi in the match.
Yeah, that's true though.
She'll be a botch fest, but
botchy. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, like you said too, this is one of the best women's tag team championship matches I've seen. The right team was dominant for the entire match and just destroyed them and won. And
it told the story of like how pathetic this other tag team was, and they didn't belong in this
on that
picture.
Level. Yeah.
And then how more pathetic their boyfriends are outside. Don't give her the bag.
Don't give her the
what that moment made me so mad. I'm like, what is going on here?
There was a whole storyline.
Well, Putty, that's how the stories in NXT are told. Just how that was. Don't give her the bag. There was a whole thing about a text message and like a virgin having a kiss. Like it was really stupid.
It honestly played out like a bad porno.
Okay, yeah, whatever.
And they set up the scenes in like literally a B-level porn studio stuff. Like,
okay, that's so horrible.
Funny.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look it up now. But anyway, no, the Fire and Dawn. Here's the thing: like Fire actually kind of.
I like that Fire and Dawn. Fire at Dawn.
They should have been that.
Yeah. Well, that's what
they're calling them. What were they calling them?
Fire and Dawn.
Fire and Dawn. They should be called like Dawn of Fire or Fire Before Dawn or something like that.
Fire at Dawn.
Yeah, but they had so many cool names, and they're just calling them Fire and Dawn. Like.
Well, anyway, my point only is Fire. Am I wrong?
The Dawn of Fire.
Does she not remind you of Lita in some way too?
It's I don't know why.
It's the straight red hair and the
baggy close
and the baggy clothes. Yeah,
she has that very Lita look to her.
She's already a better wrestler than Lita. So
yeah,
and I did not like her. You can ask him.
Yes,
we got into a podcast argument because I was like, she had no business fighting Mandy Rose. But ever since that Mandy Rose fight, she's done nothing but get better.
And I told Campo, give her time. She's going to impress you. She is good because I've seen her in UK before.
And even Isla Dawn, when Alba Fire fought her, I said, oh, I hate this character. It's so stupid. But since then, she's done nothing but get better. So yeah, they're very experienced though.
Yeah.
I believe they're both in their late 20s. So they've been wrestling.
They've been wrestling. They're young enough that they're going to have a good long career, but they're experienced enough to know what they're doing in the ring. Yeah. And carry a match. So I'm looking forward to a good long run from these two. But new champs there again. So now we've had 2 title changes on the show. And we are going into our main event. Bron Breakker is defending the NXT Championship against Carmelo Hayes with Trick Williams.
No more Trick Williams. No more.
I think it's not Trick Williams.
With me distance myself from NXT, the whole Bron Breakker thing is I did not know this person, this character, this world they made with this guy, you know? So when he came out, well, first off, side story for those that don't know, I was introduced to this guy basically by JD sending me a picture, and only because I asked about a certain female by the name of Cora Jade and who she is. And he's
but you've seen Bron Breakker before in videos we reviewed last year.
Right. And I see the thing is he looked familiar, but I was like, I don't know where thing. I will say this. I don't know where his storyline was then, but right now, the whole thing where he enters out of that doghouse thing with the dog and the thing, that suddenly hooked me to him. Then when I realized it was him coming out, I go, whoa, okay, I'm liking this idea.
Well, his father's gimmick was the dog-faced gremlin, remember?
Yes, I
Rick
did. I
Steiner.
didn't know that was his father. And that's the thing. Someone said Steiners, and I go, is this persona like the Steiners? Because he does have that build like the Steiners, but not as big where he can't move around. Like he's got that.
He's agile.
Between. Yeah. Well, here's my
like
thing.
Like an early Scott Steiner when he used to do.
He's a combination of like a Steiner and Goldberg. The way they carry the character.
Which really, those characters, I don't know why, but those things are cool. Well, here's my point thing. Then Carmelo Hayes came out, and I'm like, this guy's got some swag to me. Like, why is he like? When I realized, I was like, is Bron Breakker the heel? Who's the heel here? Because I'm really liking both of these characters. So we'll talk about.
Well, it's kayfabe, and according to Caps, you can't have that. You can't like both characters.
Either way, I'm going to say this right now. As far as matches, this was a good match in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
The characters, the characters alone made that storyline so there is no storyline, just both of them worked so well with each other. I was so into this match, and the characters, like, as far as the outcome, I'm so happy with it, which we'll get to, and I'll come back when it comes to that part. But I really enjoyed this match. I really did. So I just had to put that out there. I really did.
I think it was a great match as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think rightfully ended the right way. We've been waiting for this for a long time. Carmelo is the best wrestler they have.
Yeah. He needs if he can drop the dead weight of Trick Williams, Carmelo has superstar written all over him.
He needs polishing on the character too. His character is kind of in a weird.
Well, I mean, we voted these two last year as Rookie of the Year and Most Improved.
Well, I like his style.
Rookie of the Year and Breakout Star of the Year.
Yeah.
Sure enough, they didn't disappoint in this match.
See, I like the entrance and the style to him. I agree with the guy. The problem is I do like someone introducing him, because again, I think what really helped for him is because they were doing the Lakers thing. So for my introduction to the whole thing, it had that really style to it. And
you like the fact that he had the hype man.
Well, and that really works for his character. And the problem is I don't like the hype man interfering. So it's like, if we can find a way to introduce him still in a way without having to physically let him talk, then I want to get rid of this guy, because
I don't like the idea. This is so, just take this in, and this is not like anything the way you think it is. It's when you have a male person by your ringside who is your tag team partner or a part of your faction, like if it's Dick to Go.
Mm-hmm.
If you have someone that's out there because they're your bodyguard, if you have a female
like Jericho
valet,
with Ralphus.
Exactly. If you have, or like Wardlow, right? Or if you have a person come out who's your manager, who's like Jose the manager, or Alex Abrahantes, who makes sense why they're here.
But they don't get involved
is
in the
like
match.
A little silly dandy manservant that I don't understand your reasoning, because you don't help him, you don't hit anyone, you don't do anything. What the hell's the point? You're not his manager, you're not his valet. Why are you here? You're not his tag team partner.
You're just his friend.
Yeah, you're just like
a hanger-on.
You're just a silly guy that comes to ringside.
I think this is where the story is going. Is Carmelo's gonna, like, let's get to the finish here. Bron Breakker loses the belt to Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes is your new champion.
Good.
Right call. Right call.
And they did it in a way that made Bron look good still.
Yeah. And they even did the mutual respect thing at the end too. Like, he handed him the belt, shook his hand and all that. Like,
what if that's the niche? What if for some reason he would attack Braun, and that would be the reason that would get Carmelo Hayes away from him, because of the respect he would have for him?
No, I think gone, man.
Braun's main roster bound.
Like, literally on Raw.
Okay, so here's the funny thing. I wanted to say this right now. I because of watching Young Rock, I've noticed that they do that a lot. They'll be like, "Hey, you're going to the main event," so they have to lose something that they have. And when I saw him lose, I'm like, "Is he going to go to main event? Is he going?" So I'm glad to hear you guys see that, because I feel
they just announced, like, Triple H on Friday announced that there's going to be another draft. What is it, next week?
Yeah, it's going to happen. Someone's going to go off the board and be like, Bron Breakker. It's going to be Paul Heyman or something.
Bron Breakker, Roxanne Perez. They're going to be drafted.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. He's my new Goldberg. I'm really...
And I hope he gets drafted to Raw and goes immediately into a feud with Austin Theory.
If Goldberg was picked up at a much younger age and given time to grow as a wrestler, Because the issue that with Goldberg is he became what he was, and from that point until the end of his career, he never elevated himself ever again. He just stayed as that character.
He plateaued.
He knew, but it's because he knew this is what I am, what I'm selling. I'm going to stay here. He had no ambition to really grow, and to me, it's because he never really wanted to be a wrestler, right? He was just picked up off the street and was like,
natural ability. Braun has that natural ability.
Braun comes from the bloodline of great wrestlers.
Yeah. And that now knowing that Steiner bloodline is there, that makes it even cooler for me. Like I never
because
knew that.
We know we're gonna probably get a third generation of it too, right?
It's so cool to know that. And I mean, the thing is,
imagine if it's Cora Jade and Bron Breakker's son is the next 20 years from now.
Yep. I'm down for it.
That'd be amazing. Feuding against Orton's kids or something.
Yeah, right.
But
Kenny Omega's,
he doesn't even have kids.
Adopted kids.
Okay. So I think Carmelo's going to realize that Trick is just a hanger on, and he's going to throw him to the curb. Your first feud may be Hayes versus Trick, just to get Trick out of there.
We'll see. I think what seems plausible to me is they're probably, like you said, they're going to remove Wesley out of that picture, and then they're going to move. It's going to be a Wesley again versus Melo feud,
which I'm not upset at that.
No, and that makes sense, and they're both really good. I think Melo will retain over him for a bit, and then Dragunov will move up, and he'll probably win the title, and then that's when Melo will move to the main roster.
Yeah, and then we'll get. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I feel like Melo is already at that point where he has the charisma and the talent, especially ring work, everything. Like he has everything that.
I think they're going to do the same thing with Carmelo that they did with Braun. Have him go this year and a bit as the champion,
draft him next year.
Then bring him up next year.
Because like we were shocked when he lost the title, the North American title. We were like, "There's no way that he lost."
And we thought he was going to the main roster at that point. Little did we know he was. And then we called it. We said he's going to face Braun, and sure enough,
it happened. And good. This is this should have happened.
Just like Cody should have won at Mania. But
I never got to see the Braun streak. But if he's going to main event, I'm okay.
Yeah, he's the network. Go back and watch it.
Yeah, go watch some of Braun's stuff. Yeah, absolutely go and do it. Fun show. Best NXT show I've seen in a long time. I'll go first and say my match of the night was I think the 5-way match or the Scramble match. If not that, it's the women's match. One or the other.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to choose between the two.
I can't remember what my score is. I'm trying to find it. So Putty, can you?
I'll do mine. Mine's an 8. I gave the show an 8.
I'm doing the same thing. It's an 8. And as far as
you're going too fast, slow down.
Okay, your match of the night, Putty?
Fine. My match of the night. That's hard because the thing is, I agree. The women's match. But I like the Bron Breakker Carmelo Hayes, and it's more not even just that theatrics, just visually the characters. Like I was really enthralled in that. So, I can't decide.
I figured it out. It's a 7.9, and like I said, the reason I was giving you all those little nitpicks throughout was because
justify your score,
justify why I didn't give it over an 8. Because had I just told you how much I liked this pay-per-view, you'd be like, well, your score doesn't make any sense, because I loved it. I enjoyed it. It's the best NXT pay-per-view
show we've watched. Yeah.
But at the same time, it was like,
other than the Worlds Collide.
This is an issue I have with WWE. When WWE does something wrong, it's usually in a really slow moving situation where it's like, oh, this guy did a power slam and somehow botched this whole thing. Where in Ring of Honor, when they do something wrong, it's a triple backflip over the chairs through 9 tables. And you're like, well, that was a botch. Yeah. Okay. I get it. Right.
Yeah. Right.
So it's like my knocks on WWE are more because you can easily notice everything they're doing wrong. Cause it's very like choreographed.
Yeah.
But I mean, this was still a good event, and
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
I think wrestling is at a good place right now, even especially in WWE. We'll see how Vince McMahon screws it up, but
I mean, our lowest score so far of the weekend has been WrestleMania Night 2, which we didn't even score that low.
7.5, I gave it.
Yeah, and I gave it a 7.6. So, yeah. So, anyway, with that out of the way, guys, tune in tomorrow. We will have our review of Sakura Genesis, formerly Invasion Attack. That's what it was called. That's why
we couldn't figure it out.
Yes, it used to be called Invasion Attack. They changed it to Sakura Genesis because it's spring. Sakura is the cherry blossom festival.
Cherry blossoms, yeah.
Sakura means cherry blossoms, so beginning. Genesis means beginning, so I think that's why they changed the. Putty's like, I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. I'm kind of mad now. When they call it Sega Genesis, I should have watched it. But
that's what my brother was calling it.
Nice. They are Japanese.
Yeah.
It works.
Anyway, with that out of the way, thanks again for joining us. Tune in tomorrow. And with that out of the way, goodbye and good night.